how valuable our human body is. It's really very hard to get a human body. It's also very rare to hear of Buddhist Dharma. According to Buddhist sutras, there are six realms of reincarnation, namely heaven, asura, human, animal, hungry ghost, and hell. The lifespan of humans is the shortest. Therefore, Gautama Buddha often sighed and said, "It's very hard to get a human body. We are so fortunate and blessed to have a human body and hear of Buddhism." Another fact is that only living beings in the human realm have the opportunity of hearing Buddhism. Beings in the hell are suffering every minute and they are intensely buried in their suffering and do not have the chance of hearing Buddhism. If you are in the realm of hungry ghosts, you are also suffering from hunger without a moment of rest and will not have the chance of hearing Buddhism. If you are an animal, you will not have the wisdom of understanding Buddhism. If you are born in the realm of heaven, you are a celestial being having joy all the time and don't see or feel any suffering. Therefore, you will not have any motivation or see no urgency of leaving that realm by cultivating Buddhism. It's like asking rich people in our human realm to practice Buddhism. They really feel comfortable or complacent in their present life. There is no need for them to release themselves from any suffering because they just don't see any pain or suffering in their life. For living beings in the Asura realm, they have intense habits of jealousy, anger, and going into war with others. Therefore, these three kinds of obstacles hinder them from practicing Buddhism. Even for living beings in the human realm, if they are born in the last stage of Dharma teaching or their body is physically or mentally handicapped, they will face great difficulties in learning Buddhism. Even if they are human beings, some could be born in countries with no Buddhism at all. Some people will somehow have no virtuous roots of learning about Buddhism if they are born in Buddhist, even if they are born in Buddhist countries. According to Buddhist texts, it is very rare for anyone to reincarnate into a human again. There is a comparison Gautama Buddha used to expound on this situation. As mentioned in the Agama Sutra, to reincarnate into a human is like this. A blind turtle rises to the sea surface every 100 years to get a fresh breath of air. It happens that coincidentally there is a long piece of wood with a small round hole in the middle drifting in this vast ocean. A human body will be gained by a sentient being if the blind turtle accidentally sticks his head into that hole. So this is indeed very hard and very rare. Even if that living being is so lucky to be a human once while in samsara, then he does not value this chance of having acquired this human body, and commits a lot of sins of bad karma while being a human being. He will reincarnate again into the lower three realms, again for many lives, to cleanse his bad karma and pay back his debt. After having cleared this debt, he can have the chance of coming back to the human realm again. Another comparison has been recorded in a Buddhist text. A human body will come into existence like this. A cotton thread is hung down from the top of a high mountain called Mount Sumeru in a severe tornado to the bottom of the mountain, and the thread accidentally goes into the eye of a needle. Then you can have a human body. It's an opportunity like one in a billion. There are six realms of life in samsara, as I've mentioned: heaven, human, asura, animal, hungry ghost, and the hell. The lifespan of humans is the shortest. How about the realm of animals? Some microbes or microorganisms just live for a couple of hours or days. So, is their lifespan longer than ours? But the thing is that the small animals are strongly attached or perplexed in the in the animal body. So they will keep reincarnating into an animal body again and again after they die. So their existence in animal form will last for a really long period of time. There is a real incident recorded in the Buddhist texts to describe about the lifespan of an animal. When the famous Buddhist temple Jetavana Vihara was under construction, an ant hill was found, and Gautama Buddha smiled at the ant hill. His disciples asked the master why, and then the master answered, "Seven eons of Buddhas have gone past, and the ants are still reincarnating back into their animal forms. One eon of Buddha is like an Asamkhya Kappa. It's a really, really long period of time. You need to wait for a really long period of time to meet one Buddha. It means billions of years already. Then you time this one eon of Buddha seven times. That is really a long period of time. So it shows that animals are just so attached or entangled with their own thought of having or possessing this animal body. They will not be able to cultivate Buddhism or make any kind of advancement in becoming enlightened and leave their suffering. Another question is that how hard is it to reincarnate into a human body again? According to Buddhist texts, everyone will reincarnate into one of the six realms of life after death. Your destination will be decided upon your deeds, whether they are good or bad. The top three realms, heaven, human, and asura, the three low realms, animal, hungry ghost, and the hell. For a timeless period of time, millions and millions of years, our soul has been wandering and reincarnating into these six realms. Good or virtuous souls would reincarnate into the top three realms, and bad or evil souls would reincarnate into the low three realms. Even if two persons are reincarnated into the same realm, their life experience will differ. Some will live more comfortably and happily than others in the same realm. It is like some people are born into a rich and loving family, and others will be born handicapped or in a family of poverty. The reason behind is the deeds they have done in their previous life. But in Buddhism, we count the previous three lives as well. So if we have done something good in this life and live a virtuous life, but we are still suffering, it could be not just the effects of one life, but two or more lives before. If an evil man does not receive his penalties now, he may get his punishment later in the next or the next life, not necessarily in this life immediately. Gautama Buddha often encourages us to make use of our human body to cultivate Buddhism, to achieve enlightenment. It is because if we are in the heaven, we will not have the motivation to upgrade ourselves to enlightenment. Why? Because people living in the heaven are just too busy enjoying themselves with different kinds of pleasures above there. It's like asking rich people to cultivate Buddhism in this world also. They are just too complacent to upgrade themselves. I have health, wealth, and a loving family, and lots of people around me are just making me feel happy. Why do I bother to change my lifestyle? I feel good now. I don't need to make any changes at all. So let me tell you a story about Sariputra's disciple. Sariputra was one of the most famous disciples of Gautama Buddha. He was regarded as the disciple of wisdom. He had a really pious disciple himself also. His disciple was a doctor. He healed many patients and helped the poor. So after his death, he was reincarnated into the realm of heaven. One day, Sariputra wanted to ask him about a medical prescription for healing a seriously ill patient. So, with his magic power, he went up to the heaven to ask his disciple for a medical prescription. Somehow, Sariputra managed to see his disciple, while who was at that time riding on a ghost horse carriage on his way to a big party. The doctor recognized Sariputra, but he was just too busy having the heavenly fun and did not stop his carriage to talk to his former master. He just waved to Sariputra and then went away in the horse carriage. We learn from this story that we really will indulge in having the heavenly bliss without any motivation to achieve enlightenment if we are reincarnated into the realm of heaven. For the three low realms, they are suffering day and night and actually unstoppable pain without a minute of rest. They're just too preoccupied with the suffering, and therefore they have no chances of achieving enlightenment at all. For animals, it's difficult, if not impossible, to make themselves understand the importance of cultivating Buddhism. So, as the Buddhist texts repeatedly tell us, the rare chance of cultivating ourselves while we have this human body, it is really a chance once in a lifetime. We have a 50-50 chance of happiness and suffering in this human body. That is the perfect balance of cultivating ourselves to achieve enlightenment. Even if we are not achieving enlightenment right in this life, we still have a chance to come back to these three top realms to learn more in our next life. If we don't value this chance of having a human body, we may lose it in this life, then we may just end up in the low three realms and may not get out from these three low realms for the next millions of years. That will be really horrible. It's like going to jail with no parole for life. And unluckily speaking, the majority of us will end up with this destiny. It's like our home was originally in the low three realms, and we just sometimes make a trip or two in the upper three realms. So if we don't take this valuable chance of promoting ourselves and getting out of these six realms, we will surely regret this chance of having acquired this human body. Another lesson Gautama Buddha gave to his disciples was that he grabbed a handful of earth from the ground and scattered the earth in the wind. He asked his disciples, which is more, the earth left on my fingernails or the earth in this whole world? His disciples all answered, of course, the earth in the whole world, my master. Gautama went on explaining. The number of sentient beings having acquired a human body is like the earth left on my fingernails, and those having lost a human body is like the earth of the whole world. Above our human realm, there is the four king heaven. Their time is really, really long and slow. One day in the four king heaven equals 50 years in our human realm. Their average life is 500 years. Therefore, the lifespan in human terms, in human time, is 500 times 365 times 50, which equals 9 million years. 9,125,000 years, actually. So their lifespan is about 9 million years in our human time. Now, in another heaven, which is called Triastrema, is even higher than that. Their time is even longer and slower. Their lifespan is 1,000 years in average. But one day there equals our time 1,000 years again. So their lifespan on average is 1,000 times 365 times 1,000, which equals 365 million years. It's like zero point 0.3 billion years in human time. The higher you go in the heaven, the longer the time is, and the higher your blessing will be. By the same token, the time in the hell is also very long. One day in the hell equals 2,750 years in human time. The time in the hell is inconceivable. Our human history is about 5,000 years. It's only 2 days in the hell. Imagine that. Only 2 days down there in the hell. Gautama Buddha talked about the hell a lot in Surangama Sutra. because he wanted us to take good heed of the hell. Don't get in there, or you will find it very hard to get out of it. Don't create any causes for going into the hell. It's very hard to get out of the hell. About the realm of hungry ghosts, one day there equals 1 month in our human time. The life is around a few thousand years. There was a case like that. A famous scholar in Qing Dynasty, that is in China, is about around 19th century, worked as a night shift as a judge in the underworld. Somehow he met some poets and officials in the Tang Dynasty, which is around 7th century. So there is a time gap of 1,200 years. It showed that the living beings in the hell could have a really long life there without getting out of the hell. Another story I like to quote is about a lady is out in our modern time. Um, Somehow she joined a trip uh, to the underworld, which is or monitored or ministered by a master, a very capable master, which could take you down there to see some relatives or your future or anything that is a little bit spiritual down there. And well, for that lesson, he took quite a lot of people, spiritually down in the underworld, but some managed to have that spiritual tuning, and some did not make it. Okay, and one lady I saw that she was like in her 40s, 40 something. I think she is 40 something, and somehow she managed to go down there, right? In that lesson, and actually, what was her purpose? Her purpose was to see her future because she has some difficulties in her life, maybe with her job, with her family, or relations and health. So she wanted to know about her future. Then, but somehow she she just couldn't see her future. But for one occasion, right? Um, Actually, the whole lesson lasted for 3 to 4 hours with a blindfolded with a group of people, right? Blindfolded, and she was able to go down there with a bodhisattva that is like a deity, and the deity was quite compassionate and merciful. So um, he took her down there, and but for for seeing her future, she could not do that. But somehow she was given a scene, and there was two yellow flags blocking her way, and there were some symbols and some characters written on the two yellow flags, and the two yellow flags were blocking her way, and she was not able to see anything in the beginning, but somehow suddenly the two flags were gone, and then she could not see her future, but she met her mom. Well, of course, her mom and her dad have previously passed away already, and she was really surprised. Well, I just wanted to see my future, but how come you show me my mom? And then, of course, she wanted to talk to her mom, and then she could see that her mom was in pain. She was just like a lot of pain, and she wanted to talk to her, of course, but they couldn't speak to each other. And then and all of a sudden, it's just like a few seconds, and then her mom was gone, and then the lady knew that her mom was not in a very good place. Could be somewhere in the underworld, suffering for something. But of course, they could not communicate. They could not talk to each other. But then she was wondering, of course. Okay, I could see my mom. How about my daddy? My daddy has passed away already, so I must as well just see him. And then for and then she really wanted and asked the Bodhisattva to help her. And suddenly, you know what happened? I was just this yellowish black dog, which is not a thoroughbred. It's just a mongrel, just a common yellowish black dog was there. And then she immediately understood, oh, that's my daddy. Oh, of course, they could not talk to each other. And then she was really hurt and really sad to see that. And then somehow, okay, she woke up, right? She broke from the session, and after the lesson, and when she was being asked about her trip down there, and she was just in tears crying because she knew that her daddy was has gone into this reincarnation of being a dog. So well, that's a sad story. But why do I talk about all this is that just want to remind everyone that our human body is really valuable, and we should cherish it and make good use of it. And otherwise, we may regret it. And I hope, well, we learn some lessons from this talk I gave to you. So we may talk about something else about Buddhism next time. So see you all. Um, just work out, okay, with your deeds and chant more mantra, Buddhist mantra, to help you improve yourself. So I'll see you guys next time, and work hard. Okay, keep up the good work. See you. Bye bye.